Christopher Kent. Welcome to Flea Market Mania. We're here at the Berks County Heritage Center in Reading, Pennsylvania. Folks from all around have come to enjoy the 20th annual Berks County Heritage Festival, and they brought their antiques and flea market finds for us to appraise. So come on, let's get started. I'd like to welcome you both to the show. And who's our little friend here?
This is my grandson, Nicholas.
How do you do, Nicholas? And you are, sir?
Don Richards.
Don Richards. What have you brought me here?
I got a little pocket knife my grandpa put me to put in one of those old-fashioned high tops when you went to school, and I just wondered what it was worth. I'm going to give it to this little guy.
Well, the nice thing about this one is it's basically telling us everything we need to know, which is great. And this is in the 200-year anniversary of Philadelphia. And we've got the commemorative symbols of the Liberty Bell and all the information right there. So collectors really like to see this sort of thing. Plus the fact that it's been done in this beautifully overlaid cloisonné design on the outside. Your blades look to be all intact as well. So you took good care of this when you were a kid, obviously, because you were holding on to it with this one in mind.
That's right.
Which is a good thing. Now, as far as value is concerned, we got two kinds of collectors basically looking at this sort of thing. The pocket knife in itself, and then the people that are doing any sort of collecting as far as commemorative pieces are concerned. This one, obviously, with the anniversary of the founding of Philadelphia, all the information is right there. So basically, I'm going to give you two prices, or two appraisals for this particular piece. As a pocket knife itself, you're looking probably at about $50 for this one. But with all the good information that's on there now, I would say easily it's about $125 for this one. So you're getting a nice little piece there, Mr. Nicholas.
Yes, I mean, you're my age, it'll be worth something.
Absolutely, even more so,
Yes.
even more so. Thank you very much for bringing it along.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Beautiful. And I'm talking to
Ben Hudson.
Ben. Nice to meet you, sir.
Good to meet you.
Tell us about your collection of pocket knives here.
Well, it's just a collection of different styles of pocket knives. I try to collect ones with names on them or towns on them, and that kind of helps out when you sell them. Because if you can get certain ones with certain towns and certain people in towns will buy them quicker.
Absolutely.
A little more.
And that's what people are looking for, promotional advertising ones in particular.
Right.
What kind of prices do you have on those?
They run anywhere from $3 to $25.
Now, condition is always the selling factor.
Exactly.
What are we going to look for in this kind of collection, as far as condition is concerned?
Mostly if the writing in the advertisement's real clear, real easy to see. You look for that, and basically make sure the blades aren't broke or anything and they're in good shape.
Any sort of tarnishing or anything like that, that can be cleaned as far as that goes? That usually can be cleaned.
That's not a big problem a lot of times. A lot of times it's just the advertising.
Are people starting to carry pocket knives again?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Well, we need to encourage this tradition, obviously.
I don't carry one, but I sell them.
Yeah, my wife does. She has her Swiss Army knife in the old pocketbook all the time. I remember these as a kid. The smaller ones, the better, which people would bring out to sharpen their pencils, trimming and with cigars and things like that. What kind of price range are we talking about here?
Well, a lot of times the little ones actually bring more. This one's like $10.
And it has the advertising on that size as well?
It's worn quite a bit. Where one more plain or like this would probably bring around $5. It doesn't have any advertising. It's still not bad. Sometimes the case and the John Deere knives bring a little bit more. This one's a little more savors, a little more.
It's very good looking and in excellent condition. Well, I want to thank you very, very much for sharing this collection with us. They're beautiful. I know you're going to sell them out today.
Oh, I hope so.
And good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
I'd like to welcome you to the show, sir. And your name is?
Good to be here, Bill Sharpless.
Bill!
And Fran Sharpless.
How do you do? Welcome to the show. What have you got here?
Well, this is an envelope that was given to me many years ago, and this knife was in it. And it's written in pencil. It's very hard to read. My grandfather wrote it.
Yes.
And this is what it says. The enclosed knife was dug up in the woods of Maine in 1869 by me near the shores of one of the, quote, carrying ponds on the trail of Benedict Arnold through the forests to Quebec. This knife, an old backwoods trapper and bounty jumper of the 1863 War of the Rebellion, told me was undoubtedly the property at one time of one of the soldiers of Arnold's army. And he said occasionally old relics of this kind were picked up in the route of this army. And it's signed George W. Perkins, my grandfather.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, before we get to the knife, I just want to say, it's your paper, and watching your hands going on it just makes me cringe. We need to get these preserved, number one, okay? And that's, as part of your role as the inheritor of this, is your stewardship role, is to get this behind some UV glass and get it out of the air so we don't have the acids touching this paper, which I'm sure is riddled with acid as well. We want to secure it. We want to secure this, and we want to secure that, and all the fragments of it as well. Okay, let's, and so you put it on an acid-free back, UV glass, and frame as well.
Somebody who might be able to do that.
Well, I can recommend. I mean, any really good framer is going to be able to do that. It's not a specialized thing. A good framer is going to be able to help you with that. But what you have here is a really quite nice, very good, as a matter of fact, wooden handled knife. I'm putting this actually late 18th century, this particular piece, and I think it jives with potentially what we're talking about here. Because of the construction of this particular piece, and we can't open this up, unfortunately. I don't want to.
Well, I've opened it.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. It's going to be, at that point, this is going to snap on me. The construction of the blade, what is left of it, we have so much pitting in this blade to begin with, which is going to add to its age. The handle of this piece is, the bone is in really, really good condition. These pins were simply holding the bone in place. We have this reproduced on the other side. There's never any indication that there was anything else applied to it. It's simply securing the bone onto the steel frame as it is.
It's a bone, not a wood handle?
It's bone. If you look at it this way, you can see the striation in the bone. Now look at that, right there.
Oh, yeah.
You see the striation in there? That's not wormholes.
Oh, yes.
That's actually the perforation in the protein composition of the bone itself. Okay. It is in fact bone, and it is so smooth, it almost has a slight petrified feel to it, which is not surprising. Putting value on this with no attribution is a difficult thing to do, and you're really putting me on the spot to do that. My feeling is, as far as paper ephemera is concerned, and the collecting of paper, you have something which goes hand in hand. I want you simply to frame one with the other, so the two pieces are there. You've got history encapsulated. Overall, because we can say with confidence this is an 18th century piece, we have documentation with an attribution. Once again, it's very easy to say, I'm going to put $1,000 on this and this collectively. To a collector from that part of the world with that kind of attribution, it is conceivable that you can get between $1,000 and $1,500 for this. And you're going to say, this old knife? No, absolutely right. And this is what is selling this, and they work together. So please, before we lose any more visible print of this particular piece on this paper, please get it cleaned and framed. And I want to thank you very, very much for bringing it in.
Thank you very much.
What a treat.
Thank you.
Delight. Thank you. That's your job. That's right. German cuts when we come back. We're back, and I'm talking with?
Craig, how are you?
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you, too.
Tell us about this beautiful collection. What exactly are we looking at here?
Well, these are printing plates, and they're used for printing and advertising. Years ago, printed newspapers, they used them, and also in catalogs, advertising catalogs.
Used specifically with handset types and things like that from that
Correct.
period
Yeah.
you're talking about. What's the composition? What are they made of?
Well, many are made of copper faced on a layer of lead, and then in turn it's anchored to a block of wood. Some are zinc, some are magnesium.
And they didn't do.
That's the.
Did they do brass and bronze and things like that as well?
Not bronze, but they did brass.
And
copper face and brass on occasion. Brass more rarely, but mostly copper face.
Copper face.
Yeah.
It also holds the ink better as well. You get a cleaner transfer.
It gets a better pressure and a better imprint.
When you've got a variety like this here, what are the specific ones that people are looking for?
Well, mostly anything is memorabilia like Coca-Cola, love baseball players.
And you finding Coca-Cola ones as well?
I find Coca-Colas. I have some, and also I have baseball players.
What kind of list price are we looking at for Coca-Cola? Simple emblem seals.
Well, for an example, there are pieces that I will sell for $25, $20, and I have sold 4, 5, 6 pieces for as much as thousands.
Excellent. Now we want to put our attention to these guys here. This is really beautiful work. Tell us about these.
Well, these are swords that was used in May forming of a catalog, and they go by the number. When a person comes in, looks through the catalog, and decides which sword he would like to have, he gives them the catalog number. They know exactly where to go to pick up the sword for them.
And these were made where?
They were made in Solingen in Germany, and I think the owner of the factory at that time was Carl Eichhorn in Solingen, Germany. And he was a weapons manufacturer. And when I say weapons, I mean most primarily swords.
Yes.
Sword weapon manufacturer. And they was 1910, 1940.
Beautiful. As you can see, if you're really tight in there, this detail work, which is going to transfer beautifully. All of this work, really, really fine. Some superb examples of what you have here. And I want to thank you very, very much
thank you
for
very
sharing
much
them with us.
I certainly am happy about this.
I'd like to welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
And your name is?
Denise.
Denise. All right. What have you brought us here?
I got this at a yard sale. I like the frame. I do puzzles and put them in new frames if I find something, but I like the print also, so I just never took it apart.
And
I liked it.
You buy books because of the covers as well.
Yeah.
When you say you do puzzles and put them into frames, what exactly are we talking about?
Just puzzles. I'm a Dalmatian breeder. So I take puzzles of Dalmatians and shellac them, coat them, and put them in the frames.
Well done. All right, so you purchased this because of the frame, but you also like the print as well.
Yes.
Okay, this is a relatively contemporary print of a early 20th century work. We do have signatures on the bottom here, but unfortunately these signatures are part of the printing process. Okay. This was done by a fellow named Ferrantino, and it is the view to Picardy. You've got a little bit of, what did you pay for this first of all, Denise?
I think it was around $5.
Okay, doke. So we haven't lost our investment as far as that goes. That's good. You have a little bit of problems going on in here with little bacteria having a life of their own. But if you do in fact like the print, my recommendation is to take it out and have it cleaned, and then have it reframed. Use the frame for something else if you'd like, or put it back into this one and have a good acid-free matte backing put on it so it will not deteriorate from there. What we do have, as I said, is a print of an engraving, which was originally signed by the artist. This one, as I said, is a reproduction, and therefore your $5 investment, all things considered, with some cleaning and probably rematting, if you wanted to turn around and sell it, you'd probably be looking at about $175 to resell it.
Okay.
But I think I like your business idea with the framed puzzles.
Yes.
What a fun idea.
Yes.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing this.
Thank you.
My new best friend here, Torrance Watkins. Torrance, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It was a delight to have you here. Tell me about what you brought us today.
Well, I brought you a Picasso. And I've had it forever, inherited it, and I love it. And it's Picasso in his very, very earliest stage.
Okay. Now, the person you inherited it from, did they say it's real, it's a genuine one, this is money in the bank in the future, anything like that?
We didn't talk about things like that.
Oh, well, I'm terribly sorry. You're absolutely right. One doesn't speak of such things. But let us, you
Not
and
of
I.
it's money.
All right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're too well bred for that. But you and I aren't, and we have to talk about these things. So let's dish on this one here. What you have here is a really nice print. You have a print. You do not have original work of art. There's some telltale signs here. You can see in the crook of his arm over here. It's a very, very good print because they managed to get where the oil paint on the original canvas is breaking apart, is splitting apart. So you have that to pick up. Also, the signature over here. It would be really lovely if this were a print and we had Picasso's signature on it. Everybody thinks they've got the treasure of the year in their attic. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But what you've got here, Torrance, is an absolutely beautiful, well done reproduction. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't happen to be worth 100, 6 figures. That's all. But
That's too bad.
that is too bad.
Yeah.
But you and I could just go to Monte Carlo and have a very good time.
We certainly could.
But I want you to just to bear that in mind when you're looking at prints and paintings on the market. Make sure that you get some sort of documentation with it, that a firm or an auction house stands behind what they're promoting. If they say this is what it is, they're going to have to stand behind that word.
Okay.
And
At any period, at any time.
anything. Classic art, contemporary
for any
art.
period of time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But enjoy this one in good health. It really is a very good print. And I understand, a little bird told me that it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate that.
Delighted to have you here.
Thank you.
That's all the time we've got. Bye-bye.
Honey, don't you know it's bad for your health to smoke?
When we come back, we're going to talk about eclectic collecting. We're back, and I'm talking to
Judith Summers.
Judith Summers. What an incredible collection of posters. A lot of people that call in and I get write-ins and so forth have movie posters, and I can advise them as far as that goes, but tell me about these. This one in particular right behind us.
Well, these old posters are mainly from France. I find them in France, and they were used on the billboards over in France to advertise a certain product back in the 1890s and 1920s. And this one is particularly a drink that was made with orange, naturally, as you can tell.
A Mer Piquant, yes.
Right, and it was probably pasted on the walls in Paris, and people ripped them off because they saw they were such beautiful pieces of art.
It's incredible graphics work, so I mean any artist would certainly appreciate them. Now, this one in particular, as we're looking at this, what kind of price tag do we have on that?
We have $4,000 on that particular one. It was done in the 1920s. And it's very rare. I have not seen it but maybe once in the past 20 years.
It's interesting because, and I keep harping back to movie posters and billboards and so forth, that kind of advertising. This kind of advertising was standard fare.
Absolutely.
This was the advertising of the minute of the day. Do you think any of these people had any, because we also had a lot of very famous people that was doing this sort of graphic art. Do you think they had any idea that it was going to appreciate like that?
No, I do not think the artist did.
As far as the market is concerned, how do you see it fluctuating? Where do you see it going?
I see it always being here because people are always interested in collecting antique pieces of work that come from the 1890s and the 1900s and 1920s.
I think you're absolutely right. And I see this particular collectible going up, up, up. I want to thank you very much for sharing them with us.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome you to the show, sir. And your name is?
Bob Neuecker.
Bob, nice to meet you, sir. What can you tell me about this?
Well, I bought it at the public sale of my second cousin, and the sale poster is for her great-grandfather, Joseph Gerbrick.
Let me ask you a question. Was it a fixed price sale or was it an auction?
Auction.
And you bought it at auction at what price? Approximately.
Approximately $10.
Framed?
No, unframed.
Unframed. Unframed. And we've got, we've actually, this form of collecting, I'm going to tell you, is a very, 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 very big business. People love advertising. And one of the things that we can either be damned or blessed for is that we're one of the originators of advertising in the world. The Americans knew how to sell something and they wanted to get the word out. And this is a really perfect, prime example of advertising on a local format as opposed to national advertising. And everything, frankly, that you need to know is here. But what we don't know is what is the public going to bear as far as what are they willing to pay for this.
Yes.
Regional advertising is very important for a number of different reasons. We'll have collectors that will look at this who are only interested in, quote, livestock. We have people just interested in advertising across the board. And there are other people that just want specific regional advertising, just like this is. The fact that everything is here that we need to know gives us all the leverage we need basically to claim the top price that we want. Now, as far as advertising is concerned, this particular piece, I'm going to tell you up front, we have a little bit of problems with it. You know that. We all know that. We can see that we've got some problems in there, but you have framed this beautifully. It is well done, just the way it's supposed to be done. I'm assuming this is on an acid-free back as well. Excellent! If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. And so you've preserved it perfectly. I would say, conservatively, this particular piece would go for between $375 and $650 for this one. It's a great piece. Now, what else did you bring me here?
Shaving mug belonging to a gentleman by the name of Harry A. Shakespeare.
Harry A. Shakespeare. No relation to William.
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, we can't pull that little piece of provenance in there as far as that goes. A lot of shaving mugs like this, coming from the 19th century in particular, were manufactured in Germany. It was a great center, as was England, but more so as far as export was concerned was Germany. Now, a lot of times these were shipped out of the country undecorated, or they had just basic decoration on them, and then whoever was doing the marketing and handling and ultimately selling it filled in the blanks to personalize it. And that's basically the way it worked here in this country. Now, this one is in absolutely mint condition. It doesn't even look like it's ever been used beyond the fact that it sat somewhere and it was well taken care of. It's a great piece. Shaving mugs will often have the guard fitted right in here as well. This is an open one. So I would say, bottom line, in pristine condition, which this is, where have you been keeping this in such good condition? Well done. I would put a price tag on this at about low end 95, high 125 for this particular one. It's great. A lot of people say, why am I buying somebody else's name? They're buying it purely for the decorative value that it has. And this name, quite frankly, is a good saleable name.
Yes, it is.
So it would go very, very well. Thanks for bringing both of these in.
Thank
you.
you.
What a pleasure. Thank you. What the heck is eclectic collecting anyway? It's collecting what you like and the things that you want to live with. This is a honey of a piece. We call her Madame Munnings, and she's a papier-mâché sculpture by a contemporary artist by the name of Philip Dusenberry. She's great. Out here in the horse country, everybody knows her. They've all got a name for her. Miss Charlotte Munnings, or they say it's so-and-so and so-and-so. Look at that woman standing there in that side saddle get up. She's gorgeous. She is gorgeous. And if you like it, that's what's most important. It could be tuna fish cans made into cocktail tables. It doesn't matter, because if you like her, she's yours. So go out and collect her.